In this video, we're going to go through the law of diminishing model return, but let's break it down. Let's do it step by step. So first, we have to know a word. It is called fixed factor. So let me tell you a story. So I'm a farmer and I have this piece of land. I use this piece of land to grow carrots, and carrots will be my output. So supposedly, no matter how many carrots I'm going to grow, I have this land as one of my constraints, as my fixed factor, because I will not vary the quantity of the input, which is the land, to my output. It means that no matter how many carrots I plan to grow or I'm going to make it growing, this area of land, this factor of land is not going to increase or decrease according to my output. It is just going to be given this piece of land. We're just going to use this piece of land, these factors of production, to do our production, and we will not change the quantity of land. This area will remain this area and will be used in this whole production process without any change. We will describe it as a fixed factor, as the quantity of this factor of production, which is land, is not going to vary with our output. However, we have some different factors of production. In this example, I'm going to use labor to illustrate. Farmer, which is labor, it is going to be a variable factor. So if I'm going to grow more carrots, unlike the land, I can adjust the input, which is the farmer, because they are variable factor. I can try to employ more factors, make them working on this area. So in this area, I can keep employing more and more farmers, because I can adjust the unit of farmers employed on this production process. I'm going to describe it as variable factor because the quantity of farmer, the quantity of labor is going to vary with my output level. So it means that I can employ more farmers to ask them to help me to grow more carrots. This is how we define fixed factor and variable factor. Can you see the difference? In the whole production process, I cannot even move or change or adjust this land because it is a fixed factor. The area is fixed. Everything is being fixed. I cannot adjust it. I cannot have an extra land. I can't. I simply can't. However, I can employ more farmers, employ more and more, ask them to help me to grow more carrots, and we're going to describe it as variable factor. This is an example to illustrate what is a short run. So let's see what a short run is. So short run is about we have at least one fixed factor. In the previous example, we use land to illustrate what is the fixed factor. Because when I grow more and more carrots, you can see the land, the quantity of the land is not going to change. It's not going to vary with the output, which is carrots. However, the variable factors, which is our farmer, the labor, is going to change because I can employ more farmers to help me to grow more carrots. The quantity of labor in this example is going to vary with my output level. This is called short run. So you have to be careful. Although it's being called short run, the definition is like this. And it does not really matter with time in the definition. It's just about if we have a fixed factor, at least one, then we call it short run. You can imagine, so it's because in a short period of time, that's why we call it short run, we cannot easily adjust the fixed factor. There must be some constraint being left bound us, to constrain us from doing some adjustment. That's why we have at least one fixed factor to limit us. That's why we define it as short run. So remember, short run means we have at least one fixed factor. However, in the long run, we define it as variable factors. Everything is about variable factors. You can imagine if we are given a sufficient amount of time, we can adjust everything. Everything can be changed if the time is long enough. That's why we can even expand the land, we can find some new resources. So in the long run, we should have all variable factors. So let me remind you again, it is not about time, but the definition is about, in short run, we have at least one fixed factor, but in long run, everything is about the variable factors. Here, you're going to see this table. This is a table, so I'm going to ask you to find what is a fixed factor, what is a variable factor. Can you see it? Yes, I think you can already see it. So this is the output. This is the total output of the product. You can see that the land is always 1. It will not change, it will not vary with our output level. That's why land in this example is going to be a fixed factor because it will not vary with our output level. While labor, you can see that we can adjust it. The quantity of output is going to vary, change according to our output level because it's adjustable, right? So we call it variable factor because it varies with our output level. The next term I'm going to introduce is about total product. Total product means that when we are given some factors, for example, we have 1 unit of land, 1 unit of labor, how many outputs can it be being produced? So this should be 10. So when we are given 1 unit of land, 1 unit of labor, we are going to produce 20 units of output. So this is being called a total product. When we have 1 unit of land, 3 units of labor, we're going to produce 25 units of output. So it's just like this, total output. So we define it as just the total output. And we have to read it according to the factors of production employed. I think you should have no problem with total output. So let's take a little bit more difficult one, but it will be challenging as well as rewarding. So let's learn about the average product. How can we get the average product? Average product is we have the total output divided by the units of the variable factors. So that we can find the average product given a certain unit of variable factor. So for example, let's look at this one. So when the variable factor is 1, our total product is 10, so we can calculate it. It should be 10 divided by 1, so this is 10. The average product will be 10. Straightforward. So you can now pause the video and then you can try the remaining. So I think you have already taken your time and completed the table. So let's look at the remaining. So when this one will have 20 total output, and then we're going to divide it by 2 because the unit of variable factors when the total product is 20 is going to be 2. So we have 10 as our average product. And the next one, we're going to have 25 divided by 3. So this should be 8.3. Next one, 47 divided by 4. That should be 11.75. And then we have 50 divided by 5. We have 10 units as our average product. 51 divided by 6. Our average product will be 8.5. So that's how we get it. If we are given the total product and the fixed factor and the variable factor, how can we find the average product? You have already know how to calculate. Nice. So let's look at the opposite way to calculate it. So what if you are given your average product and then you are not given the total product? So how can we get back our total product? So we know that our total product is equals to our average product is equal to the total output divided by the units of variable factors. Then we just need to rearrange this formula. So let me write here. So how can we rearrange it? We just need to use the average product. Abbreviation will be AP. And then we times the units of variable factors. Then we can get our total product. Which abbreviate as TP. So this formula, you have already used it before. We just need to use this one times this one, then we get the total product back. So let's try it again. So we have to use this one times this one, the variable factor times our average product, we get back our total. So 1 times 10, we have 10. 2 times 10, we have 20. 2 times 10, we have 20. 3 times 8.3. 3 times 8.3, we have 25. So I know if you use the calculator, 24.9, okay, because I didn't get all the decimal places here. 4 times 11.75, we have 47. 5 times 10, we have 50. The last one will be 6 times 8.5, we have 51.